Because if people don't know why they're enough, then somebody else is going to give you their definition. It's going to either be somebody else or it's going to be your pain. And that's not truly who you are.
Hey there, this is Patrice Washington from patricewashington.com, where we chase purpose, not money. Welcome back to another episode, another special episode of Redefining Wealth. If you've been with us all week, then you know that we've been celebrating National Entrepreneurship Week here in the U.S. by highlighting women entrepreneurs from my community, Purpose to Platform, and I am so excited to continue to tell their stories. If you're new, what you should know is that at Redefining Wealth, we believe that wealth is so much more than money and material possessions. We truly believe that wealth is all about well-being, and that's because it's the 12th century definition of wealth, which was the condition of well-being. And one of the things we really believe here is that the fifth pillar of wealth is work. It's about living your life's purpose. And we really understand that when folks are not in alignment with their purpose, they also become disillusioned about their priorities, which leads to mismanagement of their finances. And so that's why I've always been focused in my decade or so as America's Money Maven on helping people earn more money and really tap into their God-given gift. I want them to truly walk in purpose because then I can help them better prioritize those paychecks. See, there's a system to all this madness. So today, I'm really excited for you to meet Suzette. Oh my gosh, Suzette is incredible. From the day that she walked into my life, walked into my community, I just knew that she had something special, and I think you will hear the same. And I'll say this, some people come into Purpose to Platform uncertain of their purpose and vision, which is okay, because that's what we help unpack. But Suzette was so clear about what was next for her. She just didn't have the community and support and accountability to get there. So I'm really excited for you to hear her story. Suzette is a self-published award-winning author, podcaster, and she makes pineapple cake so scrumptious, her husband drops down on one knee and proposes over and over again. She's the creator of the Music Math Approach, a correlation of music and math principles that amplify your voice, your value, and your vision to enhance your experience of life and love. Based on 3 critical factors of enoughness, she helps overachievers redefine what makes them enough on their own terms. Without further ado, here is Suzette Vearnon. Welcome to the Redefining Wealth podcast, Suzette.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm so glad to be here.
I'm so excited to share your story with the world because from the moment I talked to you on your breakthrough call, and actually before then, because you were a purpose chaser first.
Yes.
And you were a purpose chaser.
I was a podcast listener.
Right.
Then a purpose chaser. Then Purpose to Platform.
Right. We have been on a journey together.
We have been on a journey.
And when I first really saw you corresponding in the purpose chaser community, I just go, this lady has a story. Like every story that you told, even when you were giving guidance to other people, the way you would weave in your own story, I'm like, if you haven't wrote a book, can you please write a book? Like you are an author. You're like, I have written a book. You sent me a copy and stuff. And then by the time it was time to do your breakthrough call, I wasn't even supposed to be the person you were talking to. It just kind of worked out that way.
I know. I was like, oh my God. Because you remember that day.
It was a holiday of some kind.
It was Labor Day, September 2nd. I will never forget that day. September 2nd, 2019. I am sitting in my sweats, trying to be prepared. And I hear this voice. And of course, I knew your voice because I'd been listening to you on the podcast. And I was like, doth my ears? Perchance, is this Patrice Washington?
I know. Every once in a while it happens that way. Someone will have to reschedule, or there's one of the coaches, something happens, and I just don't like to reschedule if we can help it. So if I'm available, I'll just get on the call. And I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to get on your breakthrough call and hear your vision and hear just what God was putting on your heart. And so tell us about who Suzette is, like what your brand promise is today.
Well, my brand promise is that I help people answer the question, am I enough? And even the question behind that question, why? Because if people don't know why they're enough, then somebody else is going to give you their definition. It's going to either be somebody else or it's going to be your pain. And that's not truly who you are. And so it has become a responsibility that I have embraced to use my voice to help people, especially high achieving women and a few cool men, but high achieving women specifically, who feel or been taught that performance is what makes them who they are. It makes them worthy. It makes them worth it. It makes them enough. When the truth is, it's the brilliance behind the performance that makes you that. And so my job is to show them that brilliance.
I love it. I love it. And when we first got on that call, as you said, September 2nd, 2019.
Yes, sir.
You had a vision in mind already for an event that you wanted to do. Okay, tell us about that.
I had come to the point where I had heard the words bigger stage. And I had heard those words before, 2 years prior. But of course, life had to transition me and go up and down and all that because I wasn't ready to truly own it. I really wasn't ready. And so I thought I was. I thought I was trying to build around it, but it just wasn't working. And so when a major contract ended for me and that whole relationship, that door shut behind me, I had no other choice but to just sit with myself for a minute and say, God, what was the reason? What happened? What's going on? Because it caught me by surprise. And in the secret place of my place inside, is sitting there, I heard the words again. And it was like God was like, well, I told you 2 years ago. Now
I know it.
Yeah, now I'm removing every excuse you would ever have to not do it. I'm removing it.
Oh, won't he do that though? That is such a great point, Suzette, because that's how I got to redefining wealth. Because I knew that I was supposed to transition from my brand as Real Money Answers. I knew that I was no longer called to harp on budgets. I was supposed to be like changing people's behavior, and the mindset stuff was so heavy on me. And I was like, but God, not right now. You don't mean right now. You mean one day. And everything had to get removed, like you said, and doors slammed shut for my attention to be there. And so that door was slammed shut. And then how did you end up deciding you were going to schedule a call to talk to me though?
Well, I had listened to your webinar because everything I have, when you look back and it's 2020, everything was layered. God was dropping breadcrumbs from me listening to the podcast, to me becoming a part of your Purpose Chaser community, to you having the webinar at the exact right time, for you saying, listen, I've got some slots, let me help you get more clear about your purpose, to me sitting on the sofa talking to you. It was all in a plan. It was well executed. I'm telling you, God is brilliant. I said, when I get up to heaven, I'm going to say, you know what? You are bad to the bone. Because he layered that thing so, and I was sitting there and I knew that you were the person to take me. I knew it, Patrice, because I had felt like I had betrayed myself. And I felt like that was the reason why that door had to shut. Because I betrayed myself because money meant so much to me. Money was always what was making my decisions. That was where my security was. And so I was raised to think money first, you second maybe, but money first. And so your whole message, redefining wealth, I knew that's what I had to do, because for me, money was king. So I had to redefine it. And then when you had the nerve to say, where we chase purpose, not money, I'm like, okay, this is it. This is what the part of me that got betrayed wanted to tell the betrayer inside of me. And so when I was sitting there talking to you, it was crucial for me. It was crucial because, some things you forgive and that's it. It's done. But some things God helps you to forgive and says, but you got to make amends for it. And so I had to make amends to the part of me that betrayed me, that chose money over purpose, that chose money over me. And I remember I did a post in Purpose Chasers where I said, I lost the contract, but I didn't lose me.
Yes.
Because that was the test. The first time I got the contract and I lost me. So God gave me a do-over, and I knew I had to get it right this time. And I knew from following you and from listening to you that you were the only person that cared enough about the integrity of our purpose. Not just that it can make us money, not just that it can make us, popular, not just it can get us likes and followers and all these things that we get caught up in. But I knew that God was trusting you to help me not to betray myself again.
No, Suzette, I wasn't supposed to cry. That I was. You articulated exactly. And I've never really said that openly, verbally communicated that. But I think even just being in Purpose to Platform and the calls every week and just, going through everything, that is truly my heart, is that
your heart.
People maintain their integrity, because this pursuit of money has people doing things that's just beneath their brilliance. And there's so many coaches out there that encourage it, they applaud it, they push for it. And I see well-meaning people who God has gifted sometimes with really painful stories, but they're supposed to be testimonies, right? They're supposed to be used. It's not just about us. It's about how we can flip it, right? And find the good in it anyway. And really give God glory with that. But people will pimp it and flip it in the wrong direction and then wonder why they still don't end up with the results they say they want. And I know that doing things with more integrity sometimes takes a little longer.
It does.
But that journey is so much sweeter. That's why I'm never on some get rich quick. I'm never like, you're going to have it tomorrow. Like, that's not it. I want to teach you all to have, like you said, that foundational piece. That means that you will never betray yourself. Because that's
a hard thing. And I had to regain that. I had to know that I could be trusted. And especially with God calling me to a bigger stage.
Yeah.
I knew that I needed somebody who understood the bigger stage, but to their integrity, they held fast. Because I didn't know how big that stage was going to be. I didn't know whether it was going to be a bigger stage of 2 people that I impacted in a great way, or a bigger stage of 10,000.
Right.
I had to know that I'm enough regardless. And I don't have to sell my soul, sell my integrity. I don't have to second guess who I am. I don't have to have somebody else tell me. That I can trust myself. Like Jesus said, I and the Father are one. That I can be in alignment with who He says I am, who I am, whose I am, and why I am, and carry that into any place and know that I can be trusted, because I'm not performing for people. I'm performing for God. He's the one that decides. Even people, because a lot of people can look at us and say, oh, girl, you're doing a great job. Oh, man, oh, man. But if you know in your heart you betrayed yourself and you just hiding behind selfies and you're hiding behind, great lighting, but in yourself, you can't leave yourself. Myself is always have my own shoulder in your words, ma'am,
ma'am, we're here. Right.
I know the real deal. And so that's really what I'm living for. I'm living to have integrity inside of myself, integrity before God, integrity in what he's called me to do. And you were the person to take me there.
So let's talk about what happened that first Friday session. You came in to Purpose to Platform like a storm. Everybody was like, who is this lady with the accent? She is on fire. But what I will never forget is to that point of not betraying yourself and remaining in your integrity. So every week we have these Friday calls for Purpose to Platform. And you got on and you were sharing this vision of bigger stage. And you said, I have to do it by my birthday. Now, when was your birthday?
My birthday was December 27th. And the bigger stage was November 17th.
Yeah. You were like, it must be done.
It's got to be done before I turn 60, not afterward.
Right.
It's got to either be before or on, but not after.
But not after. So Suzette came in and true, take your time form, right? She was like, I'm planning my event. And I was like, well, how about you take 8 weeks, get through the modules. They're really going to help you, put this all together. And you were like, Patrice, now I love you. You didn't say it, but you said it with that tone, that mama tone. Now, look, I love you. However, I know what I heard. And the beautiful thing that happened is in your first session, when you said, no, it must be done before my 60th birthday. I must take the bigger stage before my 60th birthday. And you start talking about the venue that you had seen or that you were going to go visit and all those things. And I said, okay, if you're going to do it, you got to tell us what you need.
Yeah.
And the way those women, the women in Purpose to Platform, can you just talk about that? It was beautiful.
Oh my God. I didn't expect it. It was so special how they all just seemed to I saw them because we were on video. I saw them lighting up. I literally saw the light in their eyes lighting up and the chat messages. And I had never had that kind of response. The response would have always been, yeah, you saying that, but girl, you know what? You think who you think you are, a bigger stage. It's like, you ain't nobody but a little old dark-skinned girl from Kinston, North Carolina that's like poop on the map. It's like, what you talking about? The bigger stage. But all I knew was it wasn't even about ego. It was about the truth that I was like, I can't help myself. I've got to do it. There is a mandate that I do it before I turn 60. And something about me saying it, I don't know what I said. All I know is I was just showing up and being honest and being real. And it just set off a firestorm of support. Yeah. I mean, people that didn't even know me, Patrice, and you were there. Yeah. These people didn't know me. I didn't know not one person on that call. And folks that were saying, I'm coming.
I will drive there from another state.
There. I mean, somebody drove 7 hours to be there, caught planes to be there. These were women I did not even know.
They were dropping resources, links. Have you thought about this? Have you looked at that? What about this? Yeah, that's what community does.
Yeah, because I didn't know what all I knew was I'm running in that direction. I don't have the how. I don't even know the place yet. All I know is I got to move in that direction, and the how will come. And they became part of my how.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Resources. I mean, people, photographers, and just it was just a rallying of so how are things going? I mean, they were interested.
Yeah, oh yeah, because we hold people accountable too. You said you were doing it. We took time off the call to help. So what's going on?
And can I tell you, those ladies showed up on the front row.
Yeah. I love that
They
picture.
were there.
I have that picture
there.
saved on my phone.
Do you?
Yeah. Shout out to Carla,
Yes,
to Linda.
Linda, yes,
And
Carolyn.
Carolyn. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
I love
yes, they
it.
were
It just,
there.
when I saw that picture, it was the physical manifestation of what I had dreamed of for this community. Like it was finally, and people have partnered and start doing stuff together. They've shown up on each other's podcasts, or they show up to help people test their webinars or to test things or take a look at my stuff. And I see it all the time in terms of the communication in the group. But that picture, I keep saying I'm going to print it out so I can put it in my office. That picture is like, that's what it is. Like so many of us on this journey are lone rangers, and we have to figure everything out. We run things past ourselves, which means we usually talk ourselves out of stuff before we even get going. Right. And to have a tribe of people who are purpose driven, there is not 1 ounce of jealousy, envy. Like there is nothing in that community that would make you feel like, oh, I better not share, or I can't, or maybe I should be quiet.
And I've never experienced that before. I have clutched my baby close to me and run around, and I'm finally you're gonna make me cry. I'm finally with somebody that I can say, this is my baby. I trust you to help me take care of it. First time. Yeah.
So Suzette, tell us, what have been some of your biggest results from being part of Purpose to Platform?
Oh, the biggest result was I could own my voice and not have to fight for it. That was my biggest result. I could own it and not have to fight for it. The next result is I didn't have to believe by myself. I didn't have to convince anybody. You all heard my voice and believed me. And every time I come into the circle, whether it's Purpose to Platform or some other training, I always feel like I am present. And that's okay. I can own it. I can own my voice. I can own my presence. And I think that takes even deeper. That my presence is meaningful. Even if I don't open my mouth, it's like my voice is still speaking through me. And people receive it. They embrace it. They love it. I'm finally home.
You're home.
I feel like there's a home for me. And I've never really known that. And so that was the biggest thing. And I feel like that having that as a foundation has kept me grounded in conviction, because you require that. You gave me permission to have conviction. Being in the group holds me accountable. It holds me accountable to be great. It holds me accountable not to play small. It holds me accountable to trust myself the first time and not have to be the first time. And so those have been, and as a result of that, my God, I took center stage, headlining my own event in a 600-seat auditorium at 60 years old.
Yes.
I mean, who does that? But that was the bigness of the calling, and that's the bigness of what you have built, the bigness of the people. I mean, they're a reflection of you, Patrice. They are a reflection of you. And so it was funny in the beginning, I was thinking, gosh, I want Patrice one-on-one, dang it. But the thing about it, being in the program, however, in this group, I'm still with you because they're an extension of you. So I'm still being touched. I'm still being supported. I'm still being held accountable. I'm still home. So that has, there is nothing, there are no possibilities. There's only obedience. There's endless. I mean, the possibilities are endless. So whatever God tells me to do, I don't have to shrink back from it. It's like, oh no, there's only obedience now.
Yeah. We talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. So, Suzette, what would you say to anyone who is out there by themselves trying to figure it out, and they know that it's time for them to take center stage, or they've heard the whispers, bigger stage? What advice would you give them?
Trust yourself and trust God. He didn't make a mistake. Because I think when we hesitate, I think we're afraid of our own brilliance. Mm-hmm. And we can trust God is not like going, well, I thought maybe she was brilliant, but I'm going to give her a chance. I'm a tester. No, he already knows it. So trust yourself. Not your ego, not your pain, but yourself. Take the time to get in alignment with yourself. And if you can do that, you can trust that. You can take it to the bank. You can take it to the bank because God don't make a mistake. Just because we don't think we're prepared doesn't mean we're not.
Right.
He's for us. He's not trying to put us, test us to see if we're going to do it or not, if we're going to pass or fail. He already knows. He already knows what's in us. He sets us up to win. He wants us to win. So if we accept his calling, he's going to make sure to drop breadcrumbs, to drop resources, to make ways, to move mountains, to open doors, to close doors, to make sure that we win. So trust it. Do your work and trust yourself.
That's Suzette, I am so glad that he dropped breadcrumbs all along the way for you to end up in my life, in my community. I've told you this once. I've probably told you twice, maybe 10 times. I adore you. Your energy and enthusiasm and the clarity that I've seen you came in with a clear vision, but the way it's been refined over these last several months and just watching you grow and knowing that I get to say, I know her. I know her.
And you get to say that you built something because purpose, the platform, the program itself, the way you have it structured gave me everything I needed to the point that part of the reason I'm not all the way to the end is because I keep going back. Whenever I need clarity in a specific area, I can always go back and experience over and over again an awakening to who I already am. Just in case I need a reminder, an awakening to who I really am. And I can get my message even more clear in whatever venue, whatever place, whatever stage God decides to put me on. You have given me a foundation to do him proud. And so anybody coming into your program can trust the integrity and the intention behind it.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much. I adore you. I'm so proud of you. I'm, rooting and cheering for you always. And I just can't wait to see what God continues to do. So thank you so much for blessing us on Redefining Wealth.
Thank you.
Now, didn't I tell you would fall in love with Suzette? Like, how could you not? I'm telling you, like we shared in the episode, from the very first Friday that she joined, that she got on a call, she was surrounded by support because, one, we're a very supportive community, honestly, but two, just because of how she shows up. And so I'm so honored that she is in this community. And I just loved her clarity around knowing that it was her time for the bigger stage. It was her time to take center stage in her life. And I don't know where you are in your journey right now. I know that for someone out there, Suzette's words truly resonated with you. And if you are looking to take center stage, then I invite you to a call to see if we might be the community for you. You can jump on a call It's called a breakthrough call. We'll spend about 45 minutes with you unpacking what your purpose is, what that stage looks like for you, and see if we can actually help you get there. And I've been highlighting purpose to platform, but the truth is we have several ways to work with people. Not everyone is a fit for purpose to platform. Not everyone is ready for that level of intensity. And some of you don't really need a 20-week, 5-month coaching program. Some of you may need a power hour with me where we take one concept and break it down and build it back up one-on-one. And so I don't know what you need. We won't know unless you call. But if you're interested, in honor of this National Entrepreneurship Week, in someone being on your team to help you move your entrepreneurial efforts forward, then I invite you to join us. PatriceWashington.com/talk. PatriceWashington.com/talk. Book a call. Let's see if you're fit for anything that we offer. And if you're not, we do try to recommend other resources that we are aware of. That is always our commitment, that you are served, not sold anything, served on every single call that we take. So that sounds like what you need. I invite you to come on over and stay tuned, because tomorrow we have our final highlight for the week with the Miss Erica. I'm super excited, and we will wrap this little mini series all the way up. But thank you for continuing to hang in there. Thank you for the love on social media, for the DMs and the comments, just sharing how proud you are of these ladies. I really wanted to do this because it's easy to really continue to talk to women who seems to be on their mountaintop, if you will. They have all of the success, but you didn't hear them when they were in those beginning phases. And because, as a listening audience, many of us are in that beginning stage of our journey. I wanted you to hear women that sounded like you, that are where you are, or where they were where you are right now just a couple months ago. And now maybe they're a few steps ahead because they've really committed to moving their process forward. I want you to hear women that sound like you, because I need you to know that it's possible, that God is no respecter of person. And if he did it for me and he's doing it for them, he can do it for you. So until next time, go live your life's purpose, find fulfillment, and earn more without ever chasing money. Happy National Entrepreneurship Week.